we continue with the philosophy of Nietzsche. After the introductory section, the 2 points that we developed was nihilism and Apollonian and Dionysian tendencies, interpretation. These two headings deal with more of the critique that Nietzsche makes about the traditional philosophy and thought pattern. Put in different terms. So nihilism was saying no to what has gone before. And when he speaks about Apollonian and Dionysian tendencies, he is not simply making a distinction, showing the difference between one and the other. Rather, he is showing there was an overemphasis on the Apollonian during the last 2000 years. Organized, logical, conceptual. So, at the expense of life and dynamism, life and creativity. So, he was making a critique of what traditional philosophy has been. Now, in one word, I would say what he was critical about traditional thought and life was, in one word I can put it as stagnation. Thought is stagnant, life is stagnant, culture is stagnant, religion is stagnant, everything is stagnated. What is the reason? Everything was tied to the one fixed pole. And what is that pole? That is God. Yeah. So he was critical of the stagnant approach, or the approach that philosophy, theology, morality, culture, everything that the West has been taking. Now, the section that we are going to see in the following section, what he is proposing in its place. Something new is proposing. Of course, that we are just gathering, he is only giving some hint towards what the vision that he has for the new thought pattern that has to emerge. So that we are seeing point by point, but not in a systematic, not in a logical way. Again, he uses metaphorical and poetical language. That is his style. But depth is not diluted. So Nietzsche has only one notion about the human, only one thought. And that thought is being dynamic, being alive, being creative. And that idea is expressed in different phrases. The first one is will to power. What does he mean by will to power? Is one of the poetical ways of expressing that to be human means to be alive, to be dynamic. For him, all the movements in the world are caused by the will to power. So he calls it will to power as the basis or the foundation of all the movements. He uses the expression will to power. But this will to power, how it has to be understood? First, we focus on the meaning of will. Will, what does it mean? It is the dynamic aspect of reality. But then it is not the same as what Schopenhauer has said. Schopenhauer also spoke about will to be, or will to life. But Nietzsche says will to power. But the difference between the two persons in the understanding of will is that both are taking will as the dynamic moving aspect. But then in Schopenhauer, the will has to be curbed, because will is the cause of all suffering. Therefore, it has to be curbed. That is a morality. He proposes 3 ways in which will can be curbed. So that is, therefore, Nietzsche does not take that way. Nietzsche does not speak about curbing of the will. Then what about Darwin's understanding, Darwin, one who introduced evolution, theory of evolution, some similarities there. Darwin speaks about the struggle of the fittest for survival. Everyone is struggling for survival. There is a movement is there, there is a dynamism is there, the struggle. But then it also is not same as the meaning of will in Nietzsche. Because according to Darwin, survival is the goal. The movements are for moving towards a goal. The goal is survival. And I am moving for that sake. This becomes the end, survival. For Nietzsche, there is no goal, there is no fixed goal. We are not moving to any goal that is fixed. Then, how does he present survival? Survival is only a corollary, a byproduct of the movement. In the process of, there is only movement. In the process of movement, survival happens to be, but we are not stopping the movement. The movement goes on. The movement is not towards any particular goal. Survival for Darwin, it is the goal, the end towards which we are struggling, we are moving. For Nietzsche does not present anything as a fixed goal, a stagnant goal. I survive, so I stop my movement. We cannot stop the movement. That is speciality of Nietzschean understanding. The movement aspect of reality is variously present. The dynamic aspect of psychic life, cosmic becoming, etc. are manifestations of the will to power. Okay. But in human being, it takes the form of overcoming oneself. Or we can say becoming. So these two terms I am very fond of in Nietzschean thought. What is the meaning of willing? Willing in the form of becoming. You are not becoming something or someone. Then it becomes there's a fixed goal will be there. The becoming, constant becoming. And how do you move? How do you get into that constant becoming? By overcoming oneself. You keep on overcoming. You don't overcome and stop. You keep on overcoming. Overcoming means what? Saying no to what has been and then taking a step ahead. That constant movement of taking step ahead, that is becoming, that is overcoming. Very profound thought. It is not simply, he is not speaking about will as normally in philosophy we speak, but rather he is speaking about the dynamic, moving, creative aspect of human being. That dynamism cannot stop with an end, with a goal. It has to keep on, and that he expresses in the case of human being, becoming. Human being is a constant becoming. Becoming what? Don't ask. Becoming, of course, Heidegger will clarify it later. What is the meaning of becoming? When you come to Heidegger, we shall see. So, we are human being is characterized by this constant process of becoming. And how do you do that one? By overcoming oneself. So life is a striving, and one who keeps on striving really exists by being responsive to willpower. So those who are not striving, those who are not moving, they are not existing. They are stagnant. And if just because we are in the 21st century, it doesn't mean that we are following a philosophy of movement. If we are settled down, persons who think this will suffice, this is enough. You are putting a stop to you are taking a fixed goal and putting a stop. Then we are following a philosophy of stagnation, as good or as bad as the traditional thought. But Nietzsche says, according to his thought, human being has to be dynamic, moving. Human being is becoming, not being. We cannot put human being within the confines of a definition or anything of that sort. Constant becoming. Constant becoming. He uses a kind of imagery for this becoming aspect that I may not have given in the note, but then that is quite meaningful, the imagery that he gives. He uses, it may be coming somewhere elsewhere, Nietzsche's philosophy. He says, man is a rope that tied between the ultimate man and the superman. And what is ultimate man? Ultimate man is symbol of stagnation. The most decadent man is the ultimate man. And Superman is the symbol of dynamism, movement. Where are we? We are in the process of moving. So a rope, we are in that, a tied between ultimate man and Superman. But a better imagery is, Nietzsche speaks about man is a tightrope walker. In the circus, a rope is tied and then someone is walking with an umbrella in hand. Tightrope, a rope is tied tight and then person is walking. Why he uses this symbol that human being is tightrope walker? He has not said, but I reflected and I found the reason is that when we are on the rope, we cannot stop. When we are on the cycle, we cannot stop. We get the balance only insofar as we are moving. Only on a tightrope, we have to keep on moving. We cannot put a stop. Human being also has to be in the process of constant movement. There is no question about making a stop. And so that is the reason why he uses the imagery of a man is a tightrope walker, or a rope tied between ultimate man and Superman. So we are in that process of becoming more, higher, and so on. Then he uses the expression, or the term power, will. That's the dynamism. Will to power. Why does he use the term power? Again, don't look in the dictionary and find out the meaning of power. We will be misled. And what is it? Yeah. Hitler took it in the literal sense of the term will to power, and he practiced it. And you know what happened. Hitler wanted to keep on moving towards amassing more and more power. He took power and will in the literal sense. But that is not the meaning what Nietzsche is understanding. Power is an ambiguous term. Nietzsche has not clarified it anywhere. But then, from the context of his thought pattern, the style of his thinking, we are able to get it. He relates the concept of mastery to will to power. In fact, later, or in another context, we will come to that one. He speaks about masters and slaves. Masters. Again, these are poetic expression. He is not saying that everybody has to be a master as we normally understand with the power. But he is, what do you mean by being a master or being to be on the move as will to power? What he wants to say is, keep on moving without putting any stop. More, better, and so on. Any term that takes us forward. Power stands for that one. Anything that takes us forward. But that anything is not a fixed something. It is only a way of speaking, that will to power. I am not willing to get power. So it is not a goal. It is only to say that we are on the move. So it is something like when the dog is taken with a bone in front, you keep on moving. As we keep on moving, the dog also is moving and became that one. So what one is moving to is not a fixed something, it is a constant process. So what he wants to say here is to the more, the better, the higher. So that is what he means by power. It is not a military power or physical power or economic power, but more, still higher. That is conveyed through the term power. So traditionally, the goal dominated the will. This is a big change that has taken place in the contemporary thought. Nietzsche is responsible for that one. So the goal dominated the will. Why do you will? You are willing for the sake of the goal. Goal is there. I am moving towards that one. A fixed goal. So goal is controlling the will. My movement is controlled by the goal, by the end. But for Nietzsche and the later thinkers, the will creates the goal. The will creates the goal. It is difficult to follow, understand. What is the meaning of will creates the goal? I have said something when we are speaking about the existentialism. Will creates the goal means the goal comes about in the process of willing. I give the example, that is a phenomenology is in fact in falling in line with this thought. You don't sing a song. The song comes to be as you sing. You are not singing a song. You are not walking on the road. The road comes to be as you walk. So you are not walking, you are moving. In the process of moving, road comes about. In the process of singing, the song comes about. And that is the contemporary thought pattern. And Nietzsche is responsible for this new style of thinking. But he has given it not so explicitly, but in a poetic and metaphorical language. So, will to power, they are to be taken in fact together. It means human being has to be always on the move. On the move not for power, but on the move towards higher, more. Never put a stop. And this movement does not have any goal. If there is a goal, then naturally, once you reach the goal, we stop. That is the reason why he says, the movement, in the process of movement, goals come about. Songs come about in the process of singing. In the process of walking, way comes about. You don't make a way and walk over it. Rather, you walk and the way comes to be. This is phenomenology which we'll have to see later. So this is the main thought that is presented by Nietzsche with the help of the expression will to power. The next expression that he uses is Superman. Again, a term that is much misunderstood, just as will to power. Superman. Now, Superman, we have already heard this term, is presented as as against the ultimate man, there is the Superman. Or we can say, in the place of God, a Superman is presented. Now, it is not another God. It is not another being. Now since God is dead, there is a Superman is there in that place. That is not what he means by the Superman is the symbol of the Superman is the symbol of dynamism. So just as God was the symbol of stagnation, everything was in reference to God, a fixed symbol, a fixed pole. Everything was tied to that one. So God was the symbol of stagnation. That stagnation, that symbol is dead. He cannot be held anymore. Now, a new symbol he is proposing. Superman is a symbol again. Symbol of what? Symbol of dynamism. Just the opposite of what God has been standing for. Symbol of dynamism. The term Superman is used in the singular, and it is not referred to any individual, neither to himself nor to Zarathustra. Now, when you ask for who is the Superman, it is not anyone. It is not anyone. It is not, don't think that Nietzsche considers himself to be the Superman. No. It is not, no, there will not be any Superman. But it is a poetic way of expression. It is not referred to any individual person. Man is something that needs to be constantly overcome. Just as God was the meaning of the earth formerly, so now Superman is the meaning of the earth. What does it mean? Just as God was the meaning of the earth, everything was meaningful in reference to God, in the light of God. Anything that is fixed, anything that is defined, structured, that was meaningful. Now, a new meaning is proposed by Nietzsche. Superman becomes the meaning of the earth. That means anything becomes meaningful only insofar as it is alive, it is dynamic, it is moving. If anything is stagnant, it is dead. So Superman is a symbol of that movement, as opposed to God as the symbol of stagnation. Nietzsche combines the idea of Superman, both historical and supra-historical. Superman is historical insofar as it has to keep the humans moving on this earth. That movement and dynamism not be kept for elsewhere, another place, another world. In this world of time and space, you have to be moving. So it is historical, in that sense historical. Not that someone was there. Historical does not mean that he was a person who lived years back, or he will be a person who will be living in the future. Not that one, but he is referring to this, the idea of Superman is to be lived, not realized, is to be lived on this earth of time and space. Therefore, it is, in that sense, it is historical. And it is supra-historical insofar as it does not refer to any historical person. It is beyond any person. It is beyond. It is not. We cannot refer to any person, past or the future. Therefore, it is supra-historical. It is historical insofar as it is to be lived in this world of time and space. So, his doctrine of Superman can be summed up in one phrase, which I like it, is an invitation to develop one's personality beyond the present limits and thus to shape the future. The meaning of Superman is a constant invitation. I am constantly challenged and stirred. Invitation to keep on, to go beyond the present, overcoming, keep on becoming by overcoming beyond the present limits, and thus keep on shaping the future, keep on moving. So that is the idea. Superman is, so that becomes meaningful. Today, the new meaning that he proposes is the meaning from movement or becoming. If there is no becoming, then there is no meaning. It is a meaningless life. If someone lives a life without any movement, any dynamism, any creativity, then that person is dead. That thought is dead, stagnant. Man is compared to a rope. I have come this point again. Stretched between animal and Superman. In some places he says, one place the animal, other place Superman, and elsewhere he speaks ultimate man and Superman. The extreme stagnation and the extreme dynamism. We are a movement between this one. From this we are moving. So again, that it may appear that I am moving toward the fixed goal. No, it is the moving. There is not a fixed goal. Moving, and for that, for our language, our language and thought is such, we cannot think, we cannot present in some other way. Therefore, it is presented in this phrase. The notion of Superman implies a master morality that keeps on building oneself up. We are coming to master morality. So we said that already. He makes two other expressions in relation to stagnation and movement. Slaves, he uses that one, not in the sense of sociological sense or economic sense. Slaves means anybody can be a slave insofar as you are a slave of something that is given to you, a slave of last year's program. That is, all of us can be slaves if we are not able to think otherwise. Are you a slave of what is given to you? Slave of your emotions? Slave of your personality? Then that is a slave. Other one is, are you a master of yourself? Are you a master of the program that is given to you? Master of oneself, one's emotion, one's thinking. That is the meaning of being a master. It is not merely the literal sense of the term. Some people are slaves, some people are masters. It's not in that sense. You are able to be yourself. You are creating yourself. They are the masters. And those who cannot create themselves, those who are slaves, eternal slaves. When you go on begging, give me some idea, we are becoming slaves. We are not able to be masters by ourselves. The good news of the arrival of Superman, again it is given in the Thus Spoke Zarathustra, that book. That means a reminder to be dynamic, free and creative. The Zarathustra comes and tells, I will give you Superman. People in the marketplace. And they said, no, we don't want Superman. Give us ultimate man. We are more comfortable with the ultimate man. The other one is dangerous. A reminder to be, you have to be yourself. You have to decide for yourself. Free and creative. They told, no, give us ultimate man. We are comfortable with that one. Stagnancy. Being a slave is more comfortable. And people are asking for that one. Beautiful way he has presented it. The meaning of that, give us the ultimate man. Don't give us Superman. We don't want to be creative. Only in for the sake of, for the fineness or expression, we say, I want to be free. But actually, everyone wants to be a slave. So that good news of the arrival of Superman is not met with enthusiasm. People did not say, come on, we want, we are looking for it. But rather, enthusiasm by most people, since they prefer to be secure and to be mediocre possessors of the present mode of existence. We want to be mediocre. They don't say that word. We want to be mediocre. This will suffice. This will suffice. This is enough. Self-complacency, satisfied with what one is. That attitude. Because of that one, they are saying, no, we don't want Superman. You give us ultimate man. The forerunners of Superman are those individuals like Zarathustra who have the courage to acknowledge that the universe has no intrinsic purpose or meaning, and the only meaning that it has is given by the Superman, meaning only from life and movement. So there are some individuals, some stray individuals. Nietzsche does not put his name there, but he is also one of the stray individual who are only forerunners, giving a pointer to what the teaching of Superman, the message of Superman, of being dynamic. So this, as I already told, some people are born ahead. We need some people to be born ahead. If everyone is born like the other one, there will not be any growth. So there are some forerunners, but creative minority. They are a minority. And insofar as they are a minority, they will be ridiculed, they will not be accepted. But still, later, after some time, their value will be understood. That is the reason now Nietzsche's value is recognized. At that time, nobody recognized him, but because he was born ahead of the time, he was a creative minority. He was one of the forerunners of this thought of Superman. So the only meaning that we can have is the meaning from life and movement. Nothing else is meaningful. Keep on, otherwise it becomes meaningless. So nothing new is presented, as I told in the first sentence, starting this section. There is only one single thought, how he presents human being. That single thought is presented in different phrases, poetic and symbolic. Superman is another expression that he uses to convey this message. So, and the German term Übermensch, sometimes it may be useful to remember because some translations give Overman, the translation for Übermensch. But then, so therefore, better to remember the term Übermensch. So then, don't look for analyzing Superman or Übermensch, but rather it is a poetic expression of being on the move. That's all. What we said in the will to power, saying thought. There is only one single thought for Nietzsche. Heidegger has got a famous statement. Every thinker thinks only one single thought. The only quotation that I have quoted twice in my book. Every thinker thinks only one single thought. Not any thinker, any seminal thinker thinks only one single thought. It means only one thought. That thought is elaborated and given more flesh, more depth. That is what they do. Not a gathering of ideas piling together, but rather there is one thought that is so vibrant, it keeps on vibrating, sending the ripples wider and wider. Ripples, when you stop and put a small stone in the still water, then the ripples begin to go on widening. So that is the thought. Those who are the thinkers, they have only one single thought. And Nietzsche also has got a one single thought, one to negate what has gone before, stagnation. And what is he proposing? That is dynamism and movement. So that is all. And that is put in, we have taken two of the points, will to power and Superman. But then the content, what both are referring to is the same, but in different words, and that same thought is expressed. I stop here.